Hey guys, what's up? It's Michang here, and welcome to my first video game review. Today, I'll be covering Undertale. Yes, I know this is a Steam game. This isn't a real Undertale case. Come on, it's just Kingdom Hearts. Now, where do I begin with this game? First of all, I want this review to be as spoiler-free as possible because I believe this game is more than just a game. It's an experience. An experience that should be seen firsthand. And I don't mean just story elements, I mean literally everything, and that's what makes this game so great in my opinion. There's just so much attention to detail in every single nook and cranny of the game, and it's definitely not hard to see. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin with a little bit of story. Right when the game opens, you'll see a few pictures accompanied by short subtitles that give you a little bit of context about your adventure. A long time ago, which is how a lot of stories start apparently, there was a war between the two main races, monsters and humans. The humans ended up winning and sealed the monsters underground with a magical spell. And that's all you really need to know about this time period for now. Then, we flash forward to the year 21X, or 2000XT, or 201X, or however the hell you're supposed to read this thing, where a small child reaches the top of this giant crater-ass thing called Mount Ebot, or Ebot, or why the hell is it so hard for me to pronounce anything and everything, where the child trips over a root or something and falls into the aforementioned crater thing. Why the child was up there in the first place, I have no idea. I mean, I know people get curious when legends say that people who go to a certain place don't return, but I can tell you that when I was at whatever ambiguous age this child was at, I was almost probably not climbing this thing. But anyways, you fall in the hole and you end up in the world of monsters. And that's where our game begins. But you really gotta wonder, how can a small child fall such a great distance without sustaining any injuries? Well, the answer? It's a fucking video game. Just fucking enjoy it already. Jesus Christ. Which leads me to a main point that I want to bring up. The fact that this game loves to show off that it's a video game. Honestly, I don't think the presentation of this story would have worked nearly as well in any other medium, which is an incredible feat to achieve. All the dialogue and narration is so cleverly written with a witty sense of style, classic RPG tropes are implemented but then thrown to the side, and the charmingly simple bullet hell minigames add a neat little mechanic to the ordinary turn-based system. Each enemy that you encounter has its own different minigame as a method of attacking, which really helps add some diversity to each random encounter, preventing the gameplay from getting too stale. Not only that, but each monster you face comes with its own set of commands to choose from, where you can interact with each monster in order to make them let down their guard, allowing you to spare them. Oh yeah, did I mention that you could go through the entire game without killing a single monster? I didn't? Oh, well, let's dive into that whole thing because this is what determines your overall experience with Undertale. There are a few different endings to Undertale, and it all depends on the way that you decide to play the game. The main story paths are the pacifist run and the genocide run. In order to get the pacifist ending, you must go through the entire game without killing a single monster. Meanwhile, the genocide run forces you to kill a certain amount of monsters in each area before progressing to the next one. The difference in experience between the two paths is so vast, and I found it quite impressive that I could have such differing experiences while playing through the same game. If you do end up picking up this game, I highly recommend playing through both story paths to get the true Undertale experience. Now that I've touched upon all the major points of this game, I have a couple of extra notes that I want to talk about that really make this game great. First thing to talk about, holy crap, these characters are fantastic. All the main characters in this game are well designed, vastly different, and none of them feel one-dimensional. This is made even more evident if you play through both sides of the story because you can see how these characters interact with two very different people, a pacifist versus a murderer. Next thing, this game does a great job of making you feel like you are in complete control of the game. Every little decision seems to affect the game in some way, and usually in ways you wouldn't necessarily imagine. And you'd be surprised at how many of these little decisions exist. It honestly boggles my mind. The attention to detail in this game really separates it from other good games and allows it to achieve the title of great. My final note that I definitely want to emphasize, the soundtrack. The music in this game fits perfectly with each scenario that it accompanies, and there are so many different tracks. The music even differs depending on which side of the story you choose, creating either a happy, upbeat atmosphere or a desolate, abandoned wasteland. If you buy the game, make sure you buy the soundtrack bundled with it because it's so worth it in my opinion. Now that I'm done praising Undertale for the great game that it is, I do have one minor complaint. I felt like the game wasn't particularly difficult other than a few difficulty spikes here and there, but even those were intentional and well placed and fit well with the story. There is a hard mode to the game, but that's something I'll let you explore on your own. But with everything I've said in mind, I give this game a solid 9 out of 10 and would definitely say it was the best game I played from 2015. If you haven't picked it up already, I highly recommend that you do, and do yourself a favor and start with the pacifist run. I mean, you could do the genocide run first if you wanted to, but
you're gonna have a bad time.
Thank you so much for watching my first review, and I had a lot of fun doing it. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you want me to do some more reviews. I probably won't be doing too many considering I don't have too much time to play new games, but I'll try to do them as much as I can. Be sure to share the video because I think Undertale is a great game that has a fairly universal appeal from hardcore to casual gamers. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and I'll make sure that I keep you entertained. So until the next video guys, I've been Michang and see you.